Previous insights revealed how global postal lanes are tightening, forcing a tough shift from easy imports to strict compliance. European and Australian post networks no longer send most small parcels into the United States. This isn't a political jab, it's pure cost and rule enforcement. The US's new tariff regime slams the door on duty-free imports below $80. Now, the game has changed forever. This overhaul stings deeply. Suddenly, consumers face pricier items and longer waits. Shipping smartly means switching to delivered duty-paid or DDP models, setting up warehouses inside the US, and recalibrating product lines to survive steep taxes. The comforting era of cheap, speedy delivery is fading into memory. Instead, a more expensive but predictable order is taking hold. The big question echoes sharply: who will cover the new tariffs, sellers forced to absorb costs or buyers forced to pay more? This battle shakes the foundation of global e-commerce, squeezing small artisans and sellers caught in the tightening net. The silent winners? Express couriers and digital customs platforms, already ready for this wave. Listen closely, the rattling gears of trade logistics have just ground to a halt, and the real shock may lie ahead. What if these changes don't stop here? What if they unleash an entirely new era of scarcity in choice and surge in prices? The ripples don't merely stop at customs, they threaten the very heartbeat of international commerce. Underneath the hum of customs scanners and the distant drums of regulation, a new market war is unfolding where survival depends on speed, scale, and regulation mastery. The verdict is clear: swift adaptation or costly disappearance awaits. Are small sellers ready to pay the price, or will the consumer bear the burden? The answer could reshape spending habits forever. What happens next is no longer speculation. This is the new reality, a relentless push where fee, data, and security govern every parcel crossing borders. The dawn of effortless global shopping might just be over. The question remains: who will rise from the rubble, and who will be left behind in the shadows of this trade revolution? Recent changes in international shipping caught everyone off guard. Postal networks worldwide froze, scrambling to answer who would collect duties, how declarations must be handled, and exactly which data customs now demand. Imagine shipping a $25 accessory from Europe to the United States. Suddenly, you are faced with a fixed $80 customs fee for 6 months or a tariff based on origin country rates. Total cost? Easily climbing to $110 to $130 after shipping, insurance, and intermediary charges pile up. What choice remains? Cancel the order, maintain a costly US warehouse, or quit selling that product altogether. This crushing dilemma translates to lost variety on store shelves and shrinking profits for sellers. The question burning on everyone's mind: how long will this disruption last? The answer lies in compliance. Postal networks are now building third-party collections, customs duty calculators, and detailed data checks for international shipments. Slowly, shipping lanes might reopen. The United Nations Postal Authority is calling for coordinated action, an early sign that order could return in stages. Yet, one thing is certain: the old duty-free threshold, known as the de minimis exemption, has vanished forever. Every low-value item crossing the US border will face taxes, a new normal. In the medium term, market trade will shift to a delivered duty-paid model. Prices paid by consumers will clearly show this impact. Large online platforms can absorb the extra fees and mass costs, but small sellers lack that luxury. So, who stands to gain or lose? Express courier firms, software companies specializing in compliance, and automation tools will rise. Meanwhile, microsellers, border traders, and small workshops that create custom products face harsh struggles. On the American side, patience will wear thin. Instead of joyful unboxing videos, social media will fill with stories of gifts stuck in customs. Online platforms will see an influx of "my package returned" complaints. The shadow of customs delays and added costs will loom over the industry for long. Will the US government ease these rules? Expectations must be grounded in reality. The policy path is firmly set. Low-value shipments will remain taxed. Consumers, sellers, and networks alike must adapt or risk fading out. What happens next could redefine international trade rhythms forever. Previously, businesses faced a tough choice: hire customs duty agents or rent warehouses in the United States, adding new costs and delays. As a result, delivery times stretch, especially for niche goods, while prices swing unpredictably. Now, imagine the chaos during peak seasons: back to school, weddings, or holidays, when the buy but never arrived cycle explodes. Frantic customers wait as gifts and event supplies get trapped at customs more often than reaching doorsteps. Postal networks are drowning under this weight. They must handle complex new data standards (EDIs), tax calculation logic, and customs and border protection deposits. Yet, postal services operate as non-profit public service bodies, not nimble customs brokers. Transforming overnight is impossible. Europe and Australia see the path forward: cautious pilots on select routes, early deployment of duty-paid delivery for limited products, then gradual expansion. Until then, partial suspensions and strict document-only shipments hobble the system. This slows trade and shifts costs onto private couriers, inflating prices everywhere. From a government view, the objectives are crystal clear: boost revenue, secure borders, and protect domestic producers from underpriced imports. These goals stand tall, but balancing rapid compliance and smooth delivery is far harder than anyone imagined. A mere month was given to revamp software and workflows internationally, a blink of an eye for such vast networks. The fallout? A collective standstill. Agencies scramble, asking, who collects duties? How are shipments declared? What data must ports demand? Consider a small, $25 accessory shipped from Europe to the US. Sellers face a brutal choice: pay a fixed $80 customs fee for 6 months or use a tariff rate based on country of origin codes. Either way, costs jump. Shipping, insurance, and fees can soar to $110 or more. So, is the consumer ready for this shock? Will buyers click cancel while sellers scramble to adjust? Or will more entrepreneurs abandon these imports, shrinking options and squeezing margins? The shipping world has pivoted, but the final stage is far from over. What happens next could reshape global trade as we know it. The rush to adapt collapsed under its own weight. After the abrupt tariff shift, Germany's postal networks halted shipments entirely. Across Belgium, the Nordic countries, and Mediterranean routes, the phrase package acceptance to the US suspended echoed in offices. Instead of calm stacks of postal containers slowly moving through ports, hurried private couriers scrambled to fill the void. Australia Post followed suit, suspending commercial parcels while allowing letters and gifts under $100 to slip through. The root of this chaos? Back-office systems, the invisible engines of global trade, weren't ready. Customs duty collection, data transmissions, and the electric lifeblood powering operations simply couldn't keep pace. The old, reliable postal corridors for small parcels quickly morphed into costly express routes. What once was a smooth, whisper-quiet flow of goods became loud, congested, and unpredictable. Why does this shift cost so much more than just money? In 2024 alone, an astounding 1.36 billion packages crossed into the United States under the vanished low-value exemption, valued near $65 billion. This vast volume fed the pulse of affordable, fast delivery that thrilled American consumers. But that lifeline snapped when new tariff rules slapped on two hefty burdens: mandatory tax collections and detailed customs declarations. Postal services had long thrived on simple parcels, letters gliding through centuries-old logistics designed for ease. Suddenly, they were asked to juggle complex data, product codes, origins, values. Buyer and seller info in real time. Meanwhile, tens of thousands of small sellers built on fragmented marketplaces scrambled to plug into systems that simply didn't speak the same language. The result? A tangled web of incompatible data sources snarled supply chains even further. What does this mean for the customer waiting for a sleeve, an accessory, or a spare part caught at customs? Caught in the middle, European and Australian postal networks point struggling sellers toward express carriers under the DDP duty-paid model. These carriers are ready, technically, but their price tags bite. Capacity is tight. Every package heading into the United States faces a daunting choice: pay ad valorem tariffs up to 50% or surrender to a fixed 6-month customs duty of $8,200 per package. Imagine an $80 tax on a $12 trinket, an undeniable shock forcing many to hit the cancel button. Faced with these surging costs and uncertain delivery times, sellers have split their strategies. Some rush to build tiny warehouses stateside to sidestep cross-border duties, while others simply pause sales altogether. Big platforms can weather the storm, juggling inventory within local borders. But small makers, crafty artisans, and workshop manufacturers feel the squeeze most, watching their export dreams stall. How long before this price quake reshapes not just shipping, but entire markets? What happens when delayed gifts become the new normal and disappointment replaces anticipation in homes across the globe? The last chapter revealed mounting frustration across the United States as more packages lingered in customs than arrived at doorsteps. Videos of lost gifts and stalled deliveries replaced joyous unboxing moments. Social media echoed with complaints the new tariffs had struck hard. Today, we delve into the rising tension gripping consumers and sellers. Why are so many buyers now abandoning international sellers altogether? The U.S. administration clearly signals no retreat. Low-value imports once sailing smoothly without duties now face a permanent toll at the border. This seismic shift ripples deeply through consumer habits. In categories where prices barely budge, think hobby supplies and custom accessories, buyers hesitate. The sweet scent of quick, affordable delivery no longer perfumes the air. Instead, a dull frustration creeps in as waiting times stretch and unexpected customs fees emerge like a sudden chill. Some shoppers have found refuge by turning to sellers within the United States or neighboring Canada, inviting a subtle yet powerful shift, from shipping directly across oceans to relying on local warehouses. Distribution hubs along the Mexico-US axis breathe new life into trade, exploiting proximity for faster delivery. Meanwhile, giants like Amazon thrive, offering seamless, tax-paid packages that seem to mock traditional import routes with their effortless speed. This transformation is more than a trend, it's structural. The international supply chain, once a swift river, now staggers into the shoals of tax and red tape. Domestic warehouses and third-party logistics companies stand poised to handle surging demand. Jobs may increase in these sectors, but the cost? Consumers will not enjoy cheaper prices, rather, the shockwaves merely soften. Yet, three practical paths emerge from this chaos. First, build duty-paid (DDP) systems that transparently show taxes in the cart, handle collection, and manage declarations for sellers. Second, maintain small, agile warehouses inside the U.S. to serve seasonal products rapidly. Third, reconsider product lines for export, steer those crushed by the fixed $80 tax into regional domestic markets to avoid needless losses. All three carry costs, but they offer something invaluable: predictability. No more hidden charges or nerve-wracking last-minute cancellations. This step-by-step adaptation, however, faces its first real trial in the upcoming back-to-school season, a peak period where every delay stretches patience to its breaking point. For parents juggling schedules and students eyeing deadlines, delivery speed ranks as crucial as price. When the familiar postal corridors shut or stumble, even a delay of days feels like a rupture, a festering wound that could scar brand loyalty long-term. Can these evolving logistics solutions meet the rush? Or will holiday seasons become battlegrounds of frustration and unmet expectations? The ticking clock is already sounding. The international shipping landscape is undergoing a seismic shift, trembling beneath the weight of new tariffs that hit like a thunderclap on August 29. Postal networks in Europe and Australia, reeling from these changes, are steering sellers towards costly express carriers for international shipments under the duty-paid model. But are consumers ready for the financial shockwave? Imagine being a customer ready to purchase a stylish accessory, only to find an absurd $80 tax slapped on its $12 price tag. Canceling that purchase might be the only viable option. With the introduction of this new tariff regime, sellers are scrambling to adapt. Many are choosing to set up micro-warehouses within the United States to mitigate the chaos. Yet, even this solution is fraught with uncertainty. For how long can they endure the strain before their inventory runs dry? As the warehouse stocks deplete, the pressure on costs escalates. Suddenly, consumers are facing rising prices that push them to reconsider spending. The danger looms for small to medium-sized businesses that have thrived on direct shipping to the U.S. market. Delivery times for niche products could stretch infinitely, while pricing becomes a game of roulette for consumers. Will small artisans and workshop manufacturers find a way to survive, or will they be buried under the weight of new compliance costs? These businesses, once vibrant crafters of goods, are now faced with stark choices: hire agents for customs duty collection or rent expensive warehouse space in a foreign land. Each decision pulls them deeper into a quagmire of expenses, tightening the noose on their profit margins. The clock is ticking. How long will these changes wreak havoc on the global supply chain before a semblance of stability returns? As businesses grapple with volatile pricing and extended delivery times, buyers will find themselves questioning their patience. The longer products linger in customs, the louder the outcry grows. What consumer will accept the gamble of delayed wedding gifts or essential supplies stuck in limbo at borders? As parents prepare for back-to-school shopping, a brewing storm clouds the horizon of international shipping. On August 29, European and Australian postal operators dramatically pulled back low-value parcel shipments to the United States, citing new stringent customs regulations. This unprecedented halt leaves both shoppers and businesses at a cliff's edge, igniting a chain reaction of uncertainty and challenges. With packages that once breezed through borders now subject to harsh tariffs, will consumers be left to face rising costs and delayed satisfaction? The backdrop of this situation reveals a harsh truth: tariff exemptions that once made global shopping tantalizingly accessible have been eradicated. Now, any shipment valued below $800 draws a hefty price tag, overshadowing its original worth. The burdensome duty of $8,200 per package marks a moratorium on what was once an easy flow of goods. Shockingly, this shift threatens over 1 billion packages that served as a lifeblood for various industries. Will Americans be prepared for the financial fallout when shopping carts become a battleground of exorbitant fees? As empty shelves loom near during the peak shopping seasons, a palpable tension rises. Parents brace for a world where delays, cancellations, and alternative sourcing become the norm. The air thickens with frustration as small businesses grapple with their own survival. This drastic shift signals a need for creative coping mechanisms, storing goods locally or making hard decisions to bear unexpected price increases. How many sellers will be pushed to the brink, unable to navigate this jungle of red tape and costs? The international landscape is shifting under pressure. The rapid changes enacted by the US have left operators in Europe and Australia scrambling. They didn't act out of malice but out of necessity, unable to keep pace with the new customs duty processes that arose overnight. The rippling effects are painfully apparent, as logistics slow and desperation grips the market. In this tangled web, can swift solutions be reached to restore the flows of commerce once enjoyed? This raises an urgent question: can the postal networks adapt to the demands of the new regulatory landscape in time to meet consumer expectations? The stakes are high, with stories of missed deliveries taking center stage in the public consciousness, dampening spirits during festive periods. As compliance becomes mandatory, the need for adaptation sparks the urgent call for coordination. Can collaboration among nations pave the way for smoother transitions? In the chaos, a flicker of hope remains. If data standards can be harmonized and third-party platforms established, might we witness the opening of corridors once again? As lines begin to close, the pressing question lingers: can the markets evolve to embrace this new reality, transforming fear into opportunity? As we venture further down this path, the fallout may well alter the landscape of e-commerce forever. Will the consumer's love for foreign goods withstand these escalating challenges, or could it be the very catalyst for a domestic renaissance? With the clock ticking, those who adapt swiftly may just emerge unscathed, while others may face a reckoning. The time for strategic thinking is now. Are brands and sellers prepared to confront these unfolding realities? The answers may reveal the next chapter in the saga of global trade, one that hangs in delicate balance before a world anxious for resolution. Could you imagine waking up to find that your favorite online shopping experience has turned into a nightmare? On August 29, a seismic shift reverberated through global parcel traffic as postal operators in Europe and Australia made the shocking decision to halt or drastically reduce low-value shipments to the United States. Gone are the days of duty-free entries. The de minimis exemption has vanished, leaving a hefty customs duty of $8,200 per package for the next 6 months. Shoppers, strapped for cash, are now faced with agonizing choices. How did we arrive at this chaotic crossroads, where delivery times stretch and market prices soar? The landscape of international shipping is transforming before our eyes. At the heart of this crisis is the abrupt closure of a once reliable duty-free entry point for packages under $800. The US government has put a new regime in place for all countries, dramatically changing how we think about imports. No more special treatment for items from China or Hong Kong. Every low-value shipment is now subject to these new, heavy tariffs. The bustling avenues of online shopping are beginning to feel desolate, with items from fashion accessories to electronic gadgets piling up at ports, waiting for clearance. As European networks react to this harsh new reality, delays clog the system. On one hand, Germany's postal operators have temporarily suspended many operations. On the other hand, countries like Belgium and those in the Nordic region are clinging to the notion of limited acceptance, allowing only documents and personal shipments. The flow of goods has slowed almost to a crawl, and frustrated consumers are left wondering, how long will this last? Adding to the confusion are the stringent data requirements imposed by customs and border protection. Now, parcel carriers must gather intricate details, product codes, origins, values, all in real time. Those once thriving small businesses are grappling with this new reality, leading to dangerous fragmentation of supply chains. Instead of relying on traditional postal routes, sellers are being nudged toward more expensive express carriers. While these carriers have the capabilities to manage the new rules, the financial burden is crippling for many. How do you feel when faced with an unexpected price hike? With the average package now incurring the burden of an $80 tax even for items costing just $12, the temptation to cancel shopping carts has never been greater. In the shadows of this crisis looms a fear of diminished product variety. Small manufacturers that once flourished shipping directly to the US are now at a crossroads, considering contracting agents for customs duties or even setting up warehouses within the United States. But are these merely band-aid solutions? What happens when the shelves run bare in an unsubtle marketplace? And don't forget the emotional toll. As consumers become accustomed to longer delivery times and heightened expenses, public sentiment is bound to shift. The overwhelming stories of missing shipments will linger in the air, overshadowing the joy of unboxing new purchases. The smell of excitement is turning into a cloud of uncertainty, urged on by the ticking clock of impending policy changes. Will the US market ever return to its former bustling glory, or are we witnessing the dawn of a new era where low-value imports face strict inequities? As stagnation settles, postal networks must brace for a future of compliance. The implementation of new systems to manage duties and customs must speed up, as governments seek a balance between revenue generation, security, and fair competition. Yet, as we stand at this pivotal moment, one question remains: who really benefits from these dramatic shifts, and who pays the price? Some express operators will thrive, but countless small sellers will struggle for survival. As frustrations brew, consumers are left to ponder the lingering consequences of these monumental changes in international shipping.